I'm not here to complain. I just want to get it fixed.
Just the number. It makes it look like it's on the line.
I don't know the fuck they think they play with. I don't play no motherfucking games. I'll fuck you up, motherfucker. I'll fuck you up. I don't play no motherfucking games. Let's go. Watch out, guys. Watch out.
When the past and present of boxing unexpectedly intersect, you might expect the moment to unfold under the neon skyline of Las Vegas, not in the middle of Dubai International Airport. But that's exactly where things erupted into commotion. Terence "Bud" Crawford and Floyd "Money" Mayweather, two icons from different eras, encountered each other in one of the least predictable places imaginable. Rather than exchanging respect, the situation escalated when Crawford threw a punch at Mayweather right there in the terminal. The leaked clip has sent shockwaves through the boxing community. And this wasn't just a random airport confrontation. It ties into rumors surrounding Mayweather's potential return to professional boxing, his proposed bout with Mike Tyson, and the ongoing debate about who truly deserves the title of the greatest, Crawford or Mayweather.
Who do you think wins in a fight, you or Prime Floyd?
Me.
No questions?
Why would you think that I would say Floyd? You know, that's one of my favorite fighters. But yeah, nah.
Let's break the whole situation down. We'll go over what triggered the confrontation, Floyd's possible reasons for getting involved, why Canelo suddenly becomes part of the conversation, and how all of this might be setting the stage for what could become the biggest matchup of this era.
It's wild, because if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring him. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference to people.
According to people who were there, the atmosphere shifted the moment the two men were in the same space. Mayweather was making his way through the VIP section of Dubai's airport with his usual group around him, while Terence Crawford, who has been in the spotlight nonstop since shocking the boxing world with his win over Canelo Alvarez, happened to be in the area at the same time. It started quietly, a few steps, then a few comments. Mayweather flashed one of his trademark grins and reportedly brushed off Crawford's win over Canelo as nothing special. Crawford, never one to stay silent, fired back immediately. Both fighters were surrounded by their crews, and although security rushed in, the argument only escalated. That's when things crossed the line. Crawford let his hand speak for him and landed a shot on Mayweather. Phones were out in seconds, fans were shouting, and clips of the punch were spreading online almost instantly. The scene quickly descended into chaos as members of both entourages clashed. Arguments turned into scuffles, and security had to physically separate everyone before the situation spiraled any further.
Oh, shit. For real. Let it go.
This wasn't just a random confrontation. It carried symbolic weight. It wasn't simply two athletes bumping into each other. The moment tapped into legacy, pride, and the ongoing battle over who truly sits atop the throne of boxing greatness.
I was excited to see Bud perform the way he performed against Canelo. I think boxing needed that fight. I think Bud showed up in the way he was supposed to. I think Canelo did as well, and the respect between the two men is what boxing is supposed to be. I can't talk about all the eras of boxing because I haven't seen them all, but I've seen Hagler, Hearns, I've seen Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. Like I've seen all those things, and those fights were wars. Floyd Mayweather is the best boxer I've ever seen. He's the most skilled boxer I've ever seen. Bud, and this is just my opinion, is the baddest man I've seen wear boxing gloves. And here's why I say that.
RC.
Here's why I say that. Bud is extremely skilled, right? Yet not as skilled as Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather made people look foolish, right? And so if I had to say who's the greatest I've seen, and Bud said it right, the best of an era and the best of an era, it's Floyd. But when I watched Bud against Canelo, there was this extreme skill on display, and there was a level of crazy that's different. There was a level of, and Floyd's extremely tough. Go back to Shane Mosley and the 2 punches he landed early in the fight and the way that he embarrassed him. I'm not saying that Floyd's not tough, Floyd's not a bad man, but there was domination inside that ring we saw this weekend. Yeah. And there's no fear in him in the way that he's attacked gaining notoriety. Bud's been the baddest man for 12 years, but no one gave him credit because he didn't go tell you he was the baddest man. He didn't market that. He just went out and fought and beat people and knocked people out. So he had to move up and take the bigger fights and the better fights. And he was Errol Spence. We realized just how great he was. Canelo cemented him on what is the two-headed monster that marks the greatest of the 2000s. Floyd Mayweather is on that, and Bud Crawford is right next to him. I don't think we have to pick on who's better. I think they both dominated their eras equally.
What pushed Bud to throw that punch? Was it simply disrespect boiling over? For years, Mayweather has carried himself as though no one who came after him belongs in the same conversation. Whenever fans suggested Crawford might be able to beat him, Floyd shrugged it off or laughed. He repeatedly proclaimed himself the greatest of all time and dismissed Crawford as irrelevant to that discussion.
You know, I didn't have to have 70 fights, 150 fights, 300 fights. Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying...
Then Crawford shocked the world by defeating Canelo Alvarez, a result few saw coming. That victory was more than just an upset. It felt like a rewriting of boxing history. The conversation moved beyond who is the best right now and turned to a bigger question. Could Terence Crawford be considered better than Floyd Mayweather ever was?
Will a win over Canelo put you ahead of Mayweather as the greatest boxer of this generation?
Listen, I leave the opinions to everybody else, but like I said, after this fight, when I defeat Canelo, I'm gonna be on Mount Rushmore. That's where I'm gonna be.
The surprising twist is that Canelo, who has faced both Mayweather and Crawford, has openly suggested that Crawford is the superior fighter. This clearly rubbed Mayweather the wrong way. For years, his biggest victories included dismantling Canelo and framing him as a manageable opponent. Now, hearing Canelo praise Crawford felt like a challenge to that legacy.
And lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence "Bud" Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
When the two finally came face to face, it wasn't just a conversation. It was the culmination of years of pride and reputation clashing head on.
I feel like we done seen Crawford on his, have his best performance that he has ever had, versus Canelo. So it's like, whenever you try to compare Floyd's performance versus Crawford's performance, you know, me personally, I believe that Crawford did a lot more. But if they both were to fight each other, you know, if you would have put Floyd in his prime versus Crawford in his prime, who would y'all pick? You know, for me personally, it would be so hard because I feel like they fight very similar but very different.
Things get even more intriguing when you look at the timing. Just days before the airport confrontation, Mayweather hinted in an interview that he's considering a return to professional boxing. No more exhibitions or easy payday fights. He wants to compete at the highest level again. And the opponent he seems focused on? Terence Crawford .it makes sense strategically. Crawford represents the current era of boxing, while Floyd dominated the previous generation. This potential matchup is a clash between the past and present champions. If Mayweather aims to cement his legacy as untouchable, there's no opponent better suited for the task.
Yo, yeah, so if he was pound for pound, Floyd was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking. Floyd was pound for pound before.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody, I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
And let's be realistic, Floyd isn't naive. He knows this matchup carries huge significance, but he also sees the risks. If Crawford were to win, critics might dismiss it by saying Floyd was past his prime. On the other hand, if Floyd loses, it could slightly tarnish his legacy, since people would point out that he fell to a 47-year-old Mayweather. From Floyd's perspective, the scenario is almost all upside. Even in defeat, the narrative could shift to, well, he was long retired. What if he somehow beats Crawford? Such a victory would go down as one of the most remarkable moments in boxing history.
Looking back at like Floyd's career, like him coming up in the era that he came up in, he had all them champions that he was able to fight, and that's what led him to be so great. You know, because he fought the most champions, beat the most champions. You know, got the most money for beating the most champions. So it's just like, man, he had this guy, back to back to fight, one after one.
Before Mayweather can even think about a showdown with Crawford, he has another hurdle to clear. Mike Tyson. That's right. His next scheduled bout is reportedly an exhibition match against the legendary Iron Mike Tyson.
Like that fans will watch for sure is you and Mike Tyson. How's training going, Floyd? Talk to me all about this as you get ready to get back in that boxing ring once again.
Well, not really training right now.
Not yet.
You know, the fight is in 2026. We still, ironing out everything, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be exciting for the people and the fans.
Are you going in there to put Mike down and like, hey, this is not, we're going to have fun, we're going to throw a few punches, like I'm taking this seriously and I'm trying to Mike Tyson?
I don't know. I just want to give the fans what they want to see, excitement. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be an exciting event.
On the surface, it might all seem like pure spectacle. Tyson is well into his 50s, while Mayweather is still known for his speed and precision. By most logical measures, Floyd should have a clear advantage.
Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather is happening. What the f is going on? This is where boxing is in 2025. And listen, I'm not going to complain because I understand the layout of things. We already had Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. We have Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis. This feels like the Temu version of it. And that sounds crazy because we have two of the greatest of all time about to participate in this, but both of them are about 30 years past their sell-by date in an exhibition bout in which their weights will be 60 to 70 to 80 pounds different. If you got on board with Jake and Mike, it was because at least they were going to weigh the same. I don't even know what to think. Someone on Twitter said it perfectly. Either everybody in the world is going to want to watch this or 10,000 people will watch it. Probably both men want a shit ton of money and they're being promised a shit ton of money, but it's happened.
It only takes one solid punch from Tyson to change the equation. If Floyd were to get caught and knocked out, even in an exhibition, a matchup with Crawford would likely never happen. No fan base would demand it. Promoters wouldn't push it, and Floyd's carefully crafted image would take a serious hit.
It was recently said that you're going to be fighting Floyd Mayweather. Why the hell did he agree to fight you? That seems like a bad decision by him.
Well, listen, I was minding my business. I'm flying my birds, tending to my children, and he's the one. He came with the sign. His name was on the contract signed already. And he was talking really bad and nasty to me. And so I was like, God damn. I thought we were friendly, talking crazy. He's all right.
That's got to be such a cool thing for boxing fans, Mike, to have two of the all-time legends in there. Are you excited just to see the thing of that like it was with you and Roy?
Nah, man, we gonna get him, man. What you talking about? Start talking crazy, like kick his ass.
He doesn't know what he signed up for.
Yeah, I told the exhibition, he's talking crazy.
So he's like, but Mike, come on, man. He can't be doing anything to you. Like, that's a bad decision by him.
Hey, he made a good money choice, though.
That's why the Tyson exhibition is riskier than it might seem. The concern isn't just about Floyd taking a hit. It's about his entire comeback plan potentially collapsing. Meanwhile, Crawford doesn't actually need this fight. After his victory over Canelo, his legacy is already firmly established. Fans and analysts alike consider him one of the sport's elite. He's proven himself by moving up in weight and dethroning one of boxing's biggest stars. Even if he chose to retire today, he would still be remembered as the fighter who shocked the world and overcame every challenge in his path.
For the fight, the Crawford-Canelo fight, and you had a Cavs hat on. This time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, everybody plays a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
A fight with Floyd would be more about money than legacy. Even if Crawford were to win, critics could always argue that it wasn't Floyd in his prime. The debate over prime versus prime would never be settled. That's why some insiders are actually advising Crawford to ignore Mayweather's challenge altogether. He has already proven everything there is to prove.
Terence Crawford is the best fighter on the planet. Pound for pound, he's that dude. In this 4-belt era, he is now the undisputed world champion 3 times over. 140 pounds, 147, now 168 pounds, claiming all the belts. You don't see people doing that very often. Going up against a guy who was perceived as being bigger and stronger, Crawford was strong. Crawford was strong enough to fend him off, strong enough to make him respect his own power. He used his jab, he used his distance. He had poise in the ring, he wasn't rattled. He backed up and moved when necessary and kept us different. He exchanged enough to gain respect when necessary. It was a brilliant, masterful fight on Terence Crawford.
That said, let's be clear. If this fight happens, Crawford would be taking a real risk. Not in terms of his physical safety, but in terms of his legacy.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's a chess master.
Yeah,
his IQ in that
The
sense
funny
is
thing
crazy.
about it is Terence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true. But you gotta have
Can't
an
say
OG
everybody-
somewhere.
Anybody
though.
else? Yeah,
There's an OG
somebody
somewhere.
gotta pioneer, right?
Yeah, you gotta. There's an OG you can't out figure out
Yeah,
somewhere, and I
yeah.
just believe Floyd is that OG you can't out.
Defeating Floyd Mayweather at nearly 50 wouldn't silence his critics. But losing could be damaging. It could turn Crawford from a reigning champion into someone humbled by a retired legend. In reality, there's almost no downside for Floyd. His reputation is practically untouchable. Yet the stakes feel enormous because all eyes are on him. That's why the airport confrontation was more than just a heated moment. Mayweather has openly dismissed fighters like Canelo, calling them easy opponents and downplaying their achievements, even while Crawford was building his legacy. This clash at the airport was just the first move in a much larger game. Here's the current narrative. Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather crossed paths at Dubai Airport. Tempers flared, and a punch was thrown. The clip went viral, reigniting the debate over who truly deserves the title of boxing's greatest of all time.
Floyd versus Triple G. Listen, man, Floyd didn't fight him, and Floyd is an all-time great. But what a missed opportunity. You got Crawford going from 135 and talking about fighting Canelo at 168. It's kind of the same thing. except for Floyd fought a few times at 154. I'm not faulting Floyd for not fighting Triple G. I totally get it. I'm just saying that upper echelon, the reason why I will always have Sugar Ray Leonard over Floyd is the crazy, the insane part of it. What Terence Crawford is talking about doing, he ain't saying, let me meet Canelo at a catchweight. Canelo's undisputed there. Let me go get him.
But this incident is about far more than a single punch. Mayweather is hinting at a potential professional comeback, especially with the high-risk Tyson exhibition looming. Meanwhile, Crawford's place in boxing history, after his victory over Canelo, underscores how two different eras of the sport have now collided. When asked if he had considered surpassing Mayweather's undefeated record, Crawford made it clear, chasing a 51-0 mark was never his goal. He had already contemplated retirement if his fight against Spence hadn't gone his way. That wraps up today's coverage. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Share your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for what's coming next.